Hi everyone. Did you know that your body has an intelligence system more sophisticated than any AI? One that's been operating inside you since before you were born, but no one ever taught you how to access it. Hi, I'm Leah, a somatic psychotherapist, and in this video, I'm going to show you something that will completely change how you think about your body, your intuition, and your connection to everything around you. But first, if you've ever felt disconnected from your body or like you're living too much in your head, hit that subscribe button because this channel is all about reconnecting with the wisdom that lives beneath our thoughts. We've been taught to treat our bodies like machines, push through the pain, ignore fatigue, override our instincts. We live from the neck up, making decisions purely from logic, completely cut off from the incredible intelligent system that's been trying to communicate with us for our entire lives. And the cost? We're anxious, disconnected, making decisions that don't align with who we really are. We've forgotten how to listen to the part of us that knows things before our minds can figure them out. But what if I told you there's a way back? What if there's an entire communication network inside your body that's just waiting for you to tune in? Clairsentience, the intuitive ability to perceive emotions, physical sensations, or energetic states in oneself or others through the body, isn't for a chosen few. I believe anyone can develop this intuitive skill, and I'm going to teach you how. First, meet your fascia. This isn't just some boring anatomy lesson. This is about discovering a hidden superpower that you've had all along. Fascia is a web of connective tissue. It wraps around every single muscle, bone, and organ in your body. But here's what's mind-blowing. It's not just physical scaffolding. Scientists are discovering that fascia is actually a sensory organ, a living, intelligent communication network. Information travels through your fascia faster than your nervous system can process it. That gut feeling you get about someone, that's your fascia reading their energy field before your brain has even processed their words. Think of it like this. If your nervous system is the internet, your fascia is quantum communication. It's instantaneous, non-local, connecting every part of you to every other part. When one part of the spider's web vibrates, the entire web knows instantly. Your fascia works the same way. Touch your toe and your scalp responds. Take a deep breath and your entire fascial web reorganizes itself. I try to teach my clients and the associate therapists that I supervise how to slow down and tune into developing the muscle of being able to listen to the way frequency lands in the fascia. Words are just the surface layer of communication. Beneath every sentence lives a deep vibrational quality. This energetic signature is a felt sense that your body reads before your mind even processes the meaning. Within the frequency typically lies unconscious beliefs that formed as a result of how we interpreted traumatic experiences. When we learn to listen with our whole being, not just our ears, we tap into an ancient form of intelligence that operates through resonance rather than analysis. Think of your fascia as a communication network that operates much in the same way as honeycomb in the beehive operates. Bees create a sophisticated communication network through their honeycomb that goes far beyond simple storage. They're constantly sending vibrational, chemical, and temperature signals that keep the entire colony functioning as one coordinated organism. When bees need to share critical information like where to find food, changes in the environment, or the emotional state of the hive, They create subtle tremors and movements that ripple through the waxy comb structure. Other bees literally feel these messages through their legs and bodies as the vibrations travel through the honeycomb. They also release pheromones, chemical messengers that drift across the comb, carrying information about everything from danger alerts to reproductive cycles. Even the temperature of different sections becomes a form of communication, with bees collectively regulating heat to create perfect conditions for developing larvae. Your fascial system works in remarkably similar ways. This living web of connective tissue throughout your body acts like your personal honeycomb, constantly transmitting vibrations, emotional tones, and subtle information between different parts of you. Just as bees can feel the collective mood and needs of their hive through the comb, your fascia helps you sense and respond to the emotional and energetic states of people around you. Both systems create harmony not through rigid control, but through responsive communication. Each part of the network continuously listening, adjusting, and contributing to the well-being of the whole. In therapy speak, this is called relational attunement. Whether it's a bee colony or a human nervous system, true coherence emerges when all the parts can feel and respond to each other through these subtle shared communication channels. And just like the underground fungal networks that connect entire forests, allowing trees to share resources and information, your fascial web doesn't stop at your skin. It's part of a larger field of intelligence that connects you to other people, to nature, and to something much bigger than yourself. Learning to listen to the messages that live in your fascia goes beyond mental processing. Your body is a sophisticated receiver, consistently picking up subtle information about that logic alone can't capture. When you slow down and soften the mental filters, you open channels of perception that most people don't even know exist. This embodied listening reveals itself in different ways for different people. For me, it reveals itself in images. The fascia often speaks to me in images that spontaneously arise in my imagination. These images can be symbolic, archetypal, or surprisingly specific. They aren't random. They're deeper wisdom, adding context to what's being shared, like in a therapy session. It's the soul's way of providing footnotes to the conversation. I also get visualization of words. Sometimes I'll see words or phrases that scroll across an inner screen. They'll keep scrolling in my mind until I speak them out loud. When I first started tuning into this, I would doubt whether or not I should speak them out loud because they seem so random and so weird. However, when I started allowing myself to share with the client the words that I was seeing, they almost always unlock something essential during the session. Quite often, the words reference something someone in their life used to say, and then this would trigger an important memory, and then we would process that, and along we would go. Also, somatic sensing. Your body becomes a feedback system, a constriction in your throat, a wave of heat through the body, heaviness in your belly, big yawns. Over time, you learn to read these sensations almost like they're a language, recognizing the signatures of what represents unexpressed grief, protective armor, or suppressed anger. And then there's emotional resonance. Sometimes you'll feel what another person can yet access themselves. Your fascia becomes a mirror, reflecting the landscape before they even have words for it. I receive all this information through a lens of staying curious. I'm not the expert in the room. The other person is the expert. But the information I receive through the energetic signatures of what I'm feeling from what I'm hearing informs where my curiosity goes and what kind of questions I think might be helpful when it comes to supporting the other person, gaining deeper and more meaningful insight into the content of whatever we're discussing. Your body's way of receiving information might be entirely different from mine. You might see colors and you might hear sounds. The invitation is to listen without needing to categorize or explain what you're experiencing. Your fascial system is uniquely designed for this kind of perception. It's far more than structural support. It's a living network of sensing and meaning making. This connective tissue web absorbs vibration, translates subtle information, and it holds memories in ways we're only beginning to understand. When your fascia is hydrated, spacious, and responsive, it functions like a sophisticated antenna, each part of the network receiving signals, amplifying resonance, and contributing to your overall awareness of what's really happening beneath the surface of communication. This is embodied intuition, the capacity to sense not just what's being said, but what it means, to feel the emotional undercurrents of the unspoken truths. That's the place where healing wants to happen. When you're first learning how to do this, it might be difficult to tune into subtle energetic messages that are coming up in your body while having a conversation. So I suggest that you practice this when you're alone, reflecting on a conversation you had. This way you can really slow things down and you can concentrate on what happens in your body as you replay the conversation in your head. It's been my experience that energetic signatures / frequencies from the other person stay with the words even after the conversation is over. That's why this is a great way to begin practicing building that intuitive muscle. First, you can also practice tuning into your body's response while you're doing this. Where do you feel the words landing? What sensations arise? Is there tension, expansion, warmth, or contraction somewhere in your system? Notice what emerges spontaneously. Are there images, colors, or do words appear in your awareness? Trust these impressions. They're often carrying important information. Feel for the emotion beneath the content. What are they not saying? What's the feeling tone of what their words are floating on? Stay curious about your own reactions. What parts of you are responding? Your protective instincts, your compassion, your own unhealed places? Do you feel open and curious or contracted and defensive? This isn't about being right or having mystical powers. It's about developing relational presence. The ability to be fully available to the deeper dimensions of human communication. When you listen this way, you become more than a passive receiver of information. You become a resonant witness, someone who can hold space for the full spectrum of what wants to be expressed, felt, and ultimately healed through authentic connection. The body knows how to listen. We just need to remember how to trust what it's telling us. So what other ways can you start listening to this incredible intelligence system? It's simpler than you think, but it requires something our culture has forgotten how to do, and that's to give yourself permission to slow down. Here are some practices that can help move stagnant energy that's stuck in your fascia system so that you can become a clear channel of intuitive listening. You can try humming. When you hum, you're creating sound waves that travel through the fascial web like ripples through water, activating those vibration sensors everywhere in your body. You can also try touching your chest while humming. This adds another layer of sensation that, for most people, adds another layer of pleasurable sensation. Humming is the body's way of tuning itself like a guitar. You're helping your whole body find its natural, harmonious frequency. This explains why humming can instantly shift how you feel. You're not just making noise, you're giving your fascia a full body vibration massage from the inside out. Your fascia literally feels and responds to the good vibrations you're creating, which is why simple practices like humming can be so powerfully soothing. Your fascia also responds to gentle, slow, intuitive movement. Not forcing, not pushing, just responding. Move like you're moving through honey. Notice what happens next instead of deciding what should happen next. And here's the most important way to start listening to the fascia. Practice receiving. We're so used to doing, to pushing, to making things happen. But fascial intelligence works through receptivity. Sit quietly. Lay down and feel your body being supported by the earth. Go outside and feel your body taking in the wavelengths of the sun. Put your feet in the earth and feel the exchange of electrons that happens when we connect with the earth's energy field. Notice what information starts to arise when you're not trying to figure anything out, but instead just relaxing and opening up your energy field. Sit in nature and practice switching your perception between being the observer of the plants, insects, and animals around you to being observed by the plants, insects, and animals around you. See if you can tune into the energetic quality of the different plants and insects and the animals around you. For instance, the energy coming from my lavender plant is very different than the energy coming from my rosemary plant. If you want to take this a step further, begin asking the plants to share their song with you. Each plant has a frequency that resonates with a specific medicine song. It can take time, but if you develop a relationship with a plant, it will reveal its medicine to you that comes in the form of a song. Plants will also communicate specific messages tailored to you if you take time to listen to them. When I'm feeling discouraged, I go and I sit with my plants. I open myself up and I let myself take in their nurturing messages. This can be a wonderful way to practice building your intuition muscle. Okay, but here is what's really wild. When you start listening to your fascial intelligence, you'll notice you start making better decisions. You'll trust your instincts more. You'll feel more connected to other people and to nature. You'll stop resisting change, and you'll learn to trust that life operates through cycles and rhythms. This happens because you're literally plugging back into the intelligence network that you were always meant to be a part of. And here's the part that gives me full body chills. When you start deeply listening to yourself and others, you're able to hear your own fascial trauma patterns. This isn't about you just healing yourself. By working with your own fascia, you're creating more resonance and coherence in your energetic field simply through the healing power of focused inner awareness. This impacts the field of those around you, which contributes to a collective field of healing. Remember, you're not separate. You're like one bird in a murmuration of birds, one bee in the hive. When you return to coherence, to presence, to that deep fascial listening, you make it easier for everyone around you to do the same. Your nervous system regulation becomes a gift to every nervous system you encounter. Your presence becomes medicine for a world that's forgotten how to feel safe in its own body. So here's your invitation. Start listening, not with your mind, but with your whole body. Feel into that inner honeycomb. Trust what arises. Move slowly. Breathe deeply. Spend time in nature. Remember that you belong to the hive of humanity, and your healing matters more than you know. If this resonated with something deep in you, subscribe for my practices that help you remember the intelligence you were born with. And in the comments below, tell me, what's one way you're going to practice listening to your body this week? I would love to hear. You might also want to check out my video about the bones being psychic antenna, if this one resonated with you. I also have associates who are accepting new clients. If you're a California resident in need of a somatic therapist, please reach out through my website. And thanks for being on this journey with me in the hive. I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video.